keep that link in the engagement zone or keep contact with the jammer, and it slows them down and kind of crushes their spirit all in one go. It is rough to get continuously pulled back. Oh my goodness, yes, it is awful. And this floor is really slippery, if you didn't know. So even if you feel secure, the floor is gonna kind of humble you very quickly. On the jammer and now on the green, we have Bottles, who is your lead jammer, and Buddy Kzoo, who's jamming for Chemical City, I believe, for the first time, who does some nice contact on the inside line of the apex, breaking through, completing the initial pass for Chemical City. And Bottles, that kind of pass, scoring points for Kzoo. Tries to go to the outside, but nudged out by Chemical City's pivot. And beautiful work there by Buddy Kzoo, is now rocking with the jammer. 4 points on the board for Chemical City. And Bottles going to go ahead and call off the jam with 4 points on their own. That's a wash jam. 4 point piece. Really good play by Chemical City, getting the jam out of the front court. And Bottles to call that jam out. Yeah, absolutely. Happy for Kzoo and talking about the jammers and communicating with them. He's got 12 years of coaching experience. Looks like we're going to have a team timeout called by Chemical City. Timeout for the Liberty, last 10 minutes apiece. So we've got 1 minute to just yap and talk about this game so far. It seems to have very high energy, very, very fast moving. The jammers are very juicy. And the defense is pretty strong on both sides. You know, it's just hard to slow things down when everyone's moving so quick. Lots of hard kick play for the team. Yes, absolutely. Officials, both seating and non-seating, as well as paramedics. Every single one of these units is very, very crucial to the operation of the Liberty. And even if just one of them was missing, their presence would be missed. The only thing that could be sacrificed that's here right now is us talking here, because we're just kind of yapping over everything, and it's kind of your choice whether you listen or not. I know as a skater, I kind of tune it all out, so. But I'm going to say that. Barney Baxter is jammer for Kzoo, picking up lead jammer status, and that is number 108. Cardiac Chaos, getting out a lead for the first time for Chemical City as well. Chemical City is really good jammers, giving a lot of people the opportunity to get out there. Yeah, it's great. And Cardiac Chaos able to go through on the outside line. Star was in hand, didn't take an old star pass there, and it worked in their favor. And Barney Baxter kind of sneaking between two of the Chemical City blockers, breaking through for 4. Cardiac Chaos makes contact at the back of the pack, ready to score points for Chemical City. Barney Baxter coming into the pack, ready to score some more points of their own. Cardiac Chaos just has to attack him for the front of the pack and does so. And Barney Baxter with a strength and speed, able to get through on the inside as well for 4 points. A lot of soft points so far picked up by Barney Baxter. It was already the current record being held by Barney for the highest scoring jam. Getting nudged to the outside line, forced to a cycle. That's Cardiac Chaos being locked down on the inside by one-hit Wanda and Princess Carmen. And now being held back by Headhunter, but Barney Baxter now through once more. Cardiac Chaos able to bring through only 3 points awarded this time, and it just the shot cover off the opponent. And if the cover is not on your head, you can't score any points. So she has that final blocker with the star off, so only 3 points going to be awarded there. And Barney's going to go ahead and call off the jam, picking up an additional 2 points. New highest scoring jam on the day, 18 points to Barney Baxter. A total of 7 going to be given to Cardiac Chaos for Chemical City. Score is now 86-16 with just shy of 12 minutes left in the first half. A very clean game. From the previous game, not a lot of points, but the goal continues to 30-15 to 20. Yeah, super important to have all of your skaters out on the track. You want as much strength and help as you can. And speaking of help, Chemical City able to lock down the front of the pack, kind of opening up that inside apex for Darkin Phoenix to the lead in their status. So feeling the punch, maybe a quarter track behind, also hungry for those points. Big impact in the pack of Darkin Phoenix. Calls off the jam. All 4 points going to both jammers. And for those who, once again, are a little bit unfamiliar with roller derby, points aren't awarded by your skate or your opponent or your hand. It is hips passing hips. So even if your shoulder passes and your skate is passed, if your hip is not past your hip, that is no points. And skating now for the jammers, we have Bobbles and Madam Curie. And a full pack of skaters on both teams. Madam Melee looking for that inside line, but is nudged out by the pivot headhunter from the Kzoo. And beautiful work there by Bobbles. 2 past their hits, the little spin in order to pick up lead jammer status, and then facing forward again to complete the lap. As Madam Melee during this is past Princess Leia out, which is a task in and of itself. And Bobbles back in the pack, ready to show some points to Kyle and Kzoo. Madam Melee carried in as an assistant from the captain, number 77, Lombard Lunatic. But Kyle and Kzoo doing a really great job of cycling in front of the efforts by Lombard Lunatic there. We have a strong tripod at the front of the pack. As Bobbles comes through, ready to score on their second scoring pass of the jam. In your turn, you want to talk for Bobbles? Great work by Chemical City. Bobbles picked up some speed there. Chemical City really absorbs their momentum to try and really slow them down, force them to use as much energy as possible to get past those blockers. Number 602, Adam Spencer, walking out the front of the pack, really slowing Bobbles down. The pack is split. And the pack very quickly reforms Headhunter, landing a nice hit there after coming back up to the front of the pack on Adam Spencer. Both jammers still working on this pack passing. There's a lot of action going on right now. And both jammers are just really getting clogged up by the defense. So that time, when the no pack was called, Bobbles took the conservative approach and went back to the pack, but he kept going right back in. But sometimes, you just feel your feet go out, you don't really know who's ahead of you or behind you, so you're like, I'd rather not go to that, so I'm just gonna play it safe, give myself a little breathing time, and cycle. 8 points total picked up by Bobbles there, bringing their score to 98. We're 2 points away from the century mark for Kyle and Kzoo in the City in X20. And Barbie Basher, our current highest scoring jammer of the night, and Teddy Roosevelt. But it is Barbie Basher on the outside line with lead jammer, but Teddy Roosevelt comes inside and says, I'm going to do that too. He gets a first pick right on Barbie's tail. Barbie looking for that inside line, tries to take some help from their teammate, but takes a bit of a spill. Looks like we're playing a little bit like under the bridge there. And both jammers not going to pass it. Still some points. Both out with 4 points added. It looks like a total of 8 points going to be awarded to Barbie Basher and 4 points going to be given to Teddy Roosevelt. Bringing the score over the century mark for Kyle and Kzoo, 106-24, with 7 minutes left in the first half. Another jammer with a full both jammers out there, always fun to see. And our jammers, speaking of, are Darkin Phoenix and our video funny, both not strangers to the star with this game. And doing a funny, this is the pivot at the front of the pack. takes a big nudge, but uses the momentum to get through for a beat in a status for Kzoo. And Darkin Phoenix tries to start pass, tries to play it out, doesn't nudge out there. And is going to be bridged back. And is going to be called a front cut penalty. This will be a penalty now for Ophelia County, the current lead runner. Looking as an offensive help from Princess Charming. Does get nudged out by number 77, Lamar Lunatic. But Lamar Lunatic is knocked out by a blocker, so it can re-enter right there. Adam Smasher will second hit out Ophelia County, who decided to take the safe route and recycle to the back of the pack. Let's make sure no track cut is called on them. And see, they're trying to get a safe on the inside line. You can kind of see them tuck their hips under to keep their balance. And the jam is called off, a total of 4 points, giving Kzoo. And the jam is called off. Reasoning City's jam in the penalty box. This will be a short power start for Kzoo, specifically for fouls. The Capital City does have a full line of blockers out there, so it's not like it's going to be easy for bobbles to get through. Pack is moving very, very fast. And some slicing and dicing by Bobbles. This will move her lead jammer with about 10 seconds having passed on the clock. So very quick lead jammer status earned. As Darkin Phoenix is out of the penalty box. Start in hand, jumps and runs up that outside line to boom the initial pass for Capital City. And Bobbles being slowed down by two Capital City blockers at the front of the pack, but is able to use geometry of the track to their advantage, able to get through, picking up 4 points and calling off the jam. Keeping Capital City scoreless. There you go, Capital City's jam. And offensive agencies going to run with the pack. It's a non-scoring pack, did not be depending on the net. For scoring packs, you don't score points, you gotta do to put that hand in their hand. Sometimes it's like you will sneaky to try to cut your opponent. And sometimes you come out of the box, you know, there's so much chaos, and you're just like, oh, that's another blocker, I don't have to worry about it. And you're like, oh crap, there's a team in hand, and now I just let the game go. But again, it's the initial pass, no big deal. On the jam line now, as the lead jammer is Bud Baxter, and being opposite of them is now Miller Curry, coming in behind one with Rhonda, pushing back behind the jam line. Kzoo taking the back of the pack with a strong strike out, and Barbie Baxter pushing against the last two Capital City blockers from the front. Able to break through 4-4. That Kzoo wall on the back of the pack doing a really great job of really locking down now Miller Curry. Forcing him to recycle because he stepped out of bounds just a little bit. And Barbie Baxter really spreading the pack out, forcing that Capital City wall to move a bit quicker. Lots of space, Princess Leia out doing a little bit of bridging, trying to make sure her team is allowed to keep blocking. And Barbie Baxter on the post foul from the outside line, able to get through for 4 more points. We have a minute left in this jam. Curry still working on that initial pass. But he stays on the outside line and narrowly escapes the hit on Headhunter there, completing the initial pass for Capital City. Looks like we actually complete a third scoring pass for Kzoo. Barbie Baxter looking for some offensive help. Kind of slid in the pack there by Headhunter and Princess Leia out. Curry making some good contact with Princess Leia out, sending both ones to the floor. Really trying to push up that inside line, but Barbie Baxter manages to break through the wall, completing the fourth scoring pass with all 4 points. 16 points on the board for Kzoo, 2 points on the board for Capital City, bringing the score now to 130-26, with just over 2 minutes left in the first half. It is Chemical City, I believe. If you were right on her tail. It's really a fundraiser for this fun. Really put the pressure on Chemical City. Great summer from going to the floor. Pressure's gonna go ahead and call off the jam. Looks like no points for Chemical City, no points for Kalamazoo. Donuts all around. Thunder reaction to exactly. And then possibly for the last jam of the first half, we got about a little over a minute left in the first half. Our jams are bobbles and lumbar lunatic. And I want to thank our penalty box to start this jam. Great work by both of these teams. He's playing as cleanly as possible to keep all of their strength on the track. Bobbles into the outside line. Doing a mini matrix from outside to keep their balance. And the Chemical blocker does go to the penalty box. Princess Leia out trying to not Lumbar Lunatic to the inside, but Lumbar Lunatic does pick up lead to the inside. Big hit on the outside line by Chemical City blocker, forcing Bobbles to the floor. And now forcing Bobbles to the inside as Lumbar Lunatic back in the pass. There is Citizen's point. A beautiful star pass completed from Bobbles to head hunter. I didn't even see it happen until head hunter was running out of the pack. Lumbar Lunatic going to go ahead and call off the jam and pick up all 4 points for Chemical City on that pass. And we are going to let that be the last jam of the first half. Score is 130 Kalamazoo to 30 Chemical City. Great work by both of these teams in this first half. And this is a general reminder, if you are officiating, NSOing, or medicating this game, there is free food for you at the concession stand. If you are hungry, you go to work in, we've been here for a couple hours now, you do have access to free food at the concession stand. Together who doesn't. Um, there's that running whistle, and we will be shortly with the next game.
Sorry, I like started reading as
Ooh, we have a new gender for Kalamazoo's team for the half. Number 2, one-hit Rhonda, but not a stranger to the star in the bigger picture is tonight. And it's not Amelia Curie, who we have seen pick the star numerous times this game, but it is one-hit Rhonda with the Jenna Stylus for Kalamazoo. Good hit by one-hit Rhonda. Sorry, Waldo. I owe her $1 for that. Anytime you show up there and she's worth more than $1. Sending Ryan to the inside, has now recovered and pushing up the inside with Forrest Jump, knocking the Janet over and one hit Rhonda. That in the past where we scored some points on the second strike pass for Kalamazoo. Right, carried up to the inside of this back by Baxter, Kalamazoo's pivot. Looking for that inside, but Forrest Jump says absolutely not. Great recycling rotation by the Kalamazoo defense. And Kansas City in front of the pack, locking it down. Number 602, Adam Smasher, really slowly locking it down at the front here. Really holding down the line, does it to knock Wanda to the outside. Great work by Adam Smasher. And then Amelia Curie does try to take on the outside, does get a last second hit there by Wilson Biggles. A total of 3 points going to be picked up by one-hit Wanda there. And the official timeout is called. That was 11 points picked up by one-hit Wanda on the first jam of the game. Very closely rivaling Barbie Baxter's high-strength jam, only about 7 points behind. Score is now 141 to 30, with about 28.5 minutes left in the game. Officials, or who want to give a shout out to one of those really cool announcers up here. You can have shout outs for $1 over at Kalamazoo's merch table. I'm sure the skaters will really appreciate it, the officials will really appreciate it. It's always good to feel the love from those you care about, and even regular strangers sometimes, within reason, of course. Looks like our referees are communicating with the scoreboard. I'm going to say that. There's the roll of the end of the timeout, but not the start of the jam. Do not be confused. And on the jam line to start jam number 2 of the second half is Bobble and Teddy Roosevelt. I don't know if we've seen this particular matchup before. I feel like Teddy Roosevelt got off the field plenty of times. Yeah, it's a really new matchup. It's nothing bigger. Teddy Roosevelt was really charging up against Princess layout, but Princess able to knock Teddy Roosevelt to the inside. Hitting Bobbles one time to the lead, James Dallas, 4 pound and do. Princess layout charging to the front of the pack, trying to slow Teddy Roosevelt down just slightly, but Teddy Roosevelt able to complete the initial pass to Chemical City. And Bobbles coming through for 4 points to Kalamazoo. Gonna call off the jam. Keep it nice and straightforward. No points to Chemical City, 4 points to Kalamazoo. We have another clean penalty box here. I'm really excited about that. I love these clean penalty boxes. I love an empty Sunday. I love an empty Sunday. Good clean roller derby. My favorite kind. We got Barbie Basher and Dorothy Phoenix. Barbie Basher initially dating to that inside or the center of the team, but then moved to the outside, jumping and running up that outside for the lead. But Dorothy Phoenix about half a track behind, completing the initial pass as well. Now we're going to score point and Barbie gets to the infield, but juice to the outside, completing that strong pass. And calling off the jam, another 4-0 jam for Kalamazoo. I think I see a jammer on the line for Kalamazoo. Yes, number 28, Mad Hatter, and number 88, Curry. Jam was live. I remember a jam, I want to say it was like a year or two ago. It was one of Mad Hatter's first games. We had her jam, and her skate literally was separating from her plate. It was like dangling off of her plate. And she still jammed. She did great. Let's hope the same thing doesn't happen this time. Let's hope no skate difficulties. Currently, both jammers still working on that initial pass. A big hit to the outside, but Princess Leia out sends Mad Fury to the outfield. And Mad Hatter, she's straight on the outside. Lead jammer status for Mad Hatter and still intact skates, which is even more important than this. Now Fury being knocked to the infield by Princess Leia out and brings back to the end of turn 2. And Mad Hatter really pushing up that center speed on the Chemical City wall, fighting against number 9 at 3-0, Susie Steen with her. She's walking down in front of that pass, allowing Chemical City to recycle and get back in front. But Mad Hatter reduced to the end, 4 points on the board for Kalamazoo. And Mad Fury still working and manages to pass the star to number 108, Cardiac Chaos, who is fighting with 2 backoffs at the front of the pack and completes that initial pass. Ooh, a forearm penalty going to be issued to Mad Hatter. Forcing them to the penalty box for a full 30 seconds. And we got about 20 seconds left in the game. This will go before 2 minutes as our lead jammer has taken a seat in the penalty box. So Cardiac Chaos has uncontested points in this moment in time. Does get knocked out, Princess Leia out. Steps back in and realizes, okay, I stepped out. Let me recycle to the back. But Hicks did kind of pass some skaters there, contrarian to speed. 2 points going to be awarded to Cardiac Chaos. Beautiful work there. And it looks like no additional points are awarded to Kalamazoo on that pass. So a total of 4-2 jam, 153 to 42 in favor of Kalamazoo with 54 minutes left. And we will be starting on a power start for Chemical City, specifically for Dark and Phoenix, who have had some pretty good success so far in this game. Gets a big hit there by Ronaldo and Rick and Giggle. Going to be recycled all the way back to about 20 feet before the jam line. Mad Hatter has been released from the penalty box and is going to be your lead jammer. If you come out of the penalty box in a jam, you are still eligible for lead. But if you go to the box and then exit in the same jam, you are not eligible for lead. So Mad Hatter does have your lead jammer status, and Dark and Phoenix is still working on that initial pass to Chemical City. And as I say that, space open on the inside line for Dark and Phoenix, completing that initial pass. But Mad Hatter going to receive another penalty for a back block. This will be a power jam for Dark and Phoenix, and a full 2-minute jam for about a minute left on the scoreboard. start from screen and pushing up that central seam of that tripod. Looking for some offensive help from number 602, Adam Snatcher. He stays on the inside. This has to be a pass to Luis Waldo, putting up some great one-on-one defense in front of the pack, but it is not enough to stop Broken Phoenix from completing a strong pass for a point going to be awarded to Chemical City. Broken Phoenix going to be back in the pack, scoring on a second pass as Matt Hatter comes out of the penalty box. I believe still working on the initial pass for Kalamazoo. Oh, I'm a liar. Matt Hatter was released here on the penalty box. So that is a scoring pass for Matt Hatter, 4 points on the board. But 4 more points put on the board by Chemical City as the jam comes to its natural 2-minute conclusion. It's an 8-score jam for Chemical City, despite them not having leads. So it's great work by Chemical City to use their blockers and their jammers strategically. Chemical City won the record in box to start with the jam. Look at you starting at the pivot line. Another one. And look at this jammer matchup. One we have seen quite a few times already this game. Teddy Roosevelt and Ophelia Plenty. Lots of speed for Ophelia Plenty. Gets on rookie jammer status. Big hit by Teddy Roosevelt. Sends the head on with the ground. Princess Leia outside. Actually, I'm going to take over this one, and you're going to run out of bounds. So we'll recycle back to turn 2. As Ophelia Plenty using that speed for their advantage. 6-3 for an additional 4 points for Kalamazoo. Teddy Roosevelt still working on that initial pass. Still fighting his headhunter, the previous rival a couple turns ago. A beautiful spin does keep their feet in bounds, completing the initial pass. Ophelia Plenty picking up a penalty. So this is going to be a power jam for Teddy Roosevelt. And we do have about a minute left in the jam. Our third full 2-minute jam. There it goes. Yeah. It's because we talked about how clean the penalty box have been. We kind of curse everybody. It's like a well-known thing in Alpha World. If you say something like that, it's going to bite your team in the back and like, let's just do one more time, right? Who's the interested? Those seem to be like the second half of skaters that were tired. So picking up more of those penalties. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ophelia Plenty able to get through for 4 more points for Kalamazoo as Teddy Roosevelt is still stuck in that pack. Takes a bit of a spill there in turn 3. Ophelia Plenty sees space on that inside apex to get through for 4 as the jam gets called off for injury. It doesn't look like a major injury, just looks like they do have a little bit winded, a very intense jam, and taking big social pack kind of not the wind out here. Alright, we are back. Kind of brings about half returns to their bench, so that's great. Great news. We always have to make sure that our students are all safe. The sport can be super dangerous. We like to just make sure that everybody is as safe as possible. And we're getting ready to go into jam 7. But a new jammer for Kalamazoo. First time this half, we've got Forrest Jump jamming for Kalamazoo. And not only looks scary for Kalamazoo. First one oh goodness. That's such an honor. They're sitting in the wonderful tournament that just consists of a bunch of Michigan teams playing against one another, kind of like a round robin type of thing. Like this bracket. A nice last lead out there by Philbell Leffer, sending Madame Military to the inside line. As Forrest Jump goes around on the outside line. Unsure if they went out, so they're going to kind of go behind everybody. Just be extra safe there. Make sure that we legally collect all of our points on this scoring pass. Beautiful work there. That inside line had just enough space for one skate to go through. 4 more points picked up for Kalamazoo. And then they carry just past the star to number 77, Lombard Lunatic. And Forrest Jump, once again, that inside line is their friends today, getting through for 4 more points for Kalamazoo. We're going to go ahead and call off the game with 4 points. Total 8 for Forrest Jump. We've got Marlon up against Dark in Phoenix for this game. Close pack, and the back of the back here. Let's see who gets out in front. Chemical City General takes up 100% of the phone boxes of black. The Whoppers are coming to the $20. Arjan, Kalamazoo. Longer playing offense for the Junior. Ball breaks through the pack, picks up her point. Great communication happening by Headhunter there, communicating with her blockers to make sure that they know what they're doing. Everyone out of the penalty box. Chemical City breaks through the pack and goes behind line. Multi-point for Chemical City on that. 1-1 for that jam. This is a total of 9 points in total for Bobbles on that jam. And our score to 184 to 43. We got another new jam. I think we've seen one to jam once before. Once or twice. But Kalamazoo is putting Princess Leia out there for the first time. She jammed a couple times for that 18 versus the world tournament, the last game. Beautiful juke there. You kind of saw their chest kind of pop back to where that hit. Leads on the side, showing the Kalamazoo. But Brody Tutu, they look a very cool on the initial pass as well. The Princess Leia really charging here with lots of speed, completing a scoring pass. Great offense by Matt Hatter there, open up that inside line for Princess Leia. And the City gets there to do as well. We have both packs with City in the penalty box. And a beautiful dunk by Princess Leia. Gets them through on that inside line. Gonna go ahead and call off the jam. No points for anything at the Columbus City. Another 4 points for the given to Kzoo. Total of 12 for Princess Leia, bringing their score to 196 to 47.
Facing off against Fury. We've got another pivot star.
With
no pivot on the track.
Oh my gosh, both pivots in the penalty box. A big hit there, not up there, carried to the outside. Giving a bit of time to get through for Legion of Status.
Princess playing off. Trying to help her feel it out. No pass, no penalty for this. Picks up 3 points.
Good awareness by the Furious to know that they had already passed that skater and the Earth-Juniors went out of bounds, so they were able to be unfair with their penalty there. But unfortunately, that forearm extended just a little bit too much and earned them superior position, so it is going to be a power jam for Madam and Fury. You have about a minute left in the jam. Lombard just leading the charge of offense there. And then Lombard drops to the back, working a bridge, trying to the direction, which leaves only 2 blockers to defend Madam Fury, who is able to break through for 4 points in the city.
Princess Harmon coming back in for Kzoo. And we're close to Ryan Field coming back in. He's got a full track again.
Julia playing kind of being a little bit of a pinball there, trying to knock around a couple different directions, but able to break through the pack eventually, as that another Fury being knocked to the outside now and bridged that by Headhunter. Fury, beautiful offense there, done by number 602 Adam Smasher, who's done lots of great blocking this evening. Able to kind of like party the Red Sea almost, opening the center for Madam Fury to get through for 4 more points.
Well, let's see the blocker touch the game. Not even the Furies are by themselves this game. It's tough pack out there, but things to see that.
It's always very tough in general, but it's even worse when you are fully alone. So it's always nice to have at least one friend out there on your side. But Dr. Phoenix didn't need a friend. They were like, I got this, no worries. Picking up leads on their side for some of three. And one at Wanda being knocked out by Blake Hughes there. Almost made it out on the outside line, but does step out before to recycle the Hunter Kzoo's tripod. And great offense there by number 108, Playoff Chaos, opening up that inside for that Phoenix.
Push the ball forward again.
Ooh, a trap cut penalty being awarded to one-hit Wanda. So this is going to be a power jam for Desmond Phoenix, who is looking for some offensive help. They want to score as many points as they can while other teams are in the penalty box. Because that means they won't get matched. You know, you're the only jammer on the track. So they're going to go ahead and power off with what they've got.
This call by Council City to get that jammer a break and start this next jam with a power jam.
And out of all the jammers who start on the power start, Kzoo has been charging into these walls with so much force and momentum. They're a very, very strong pushing jammer. And so if you want to get quick lead, one of these strong jammers might be the key to your success here.
Absolutely. We got Kzoo pulling back.
Right, and Teddy Roosevelt looking for that space. As I mentioned, charging up the gap between those 2 blockers. I'm glad to see that Teddy's back out on the track after that one cleanup. But there, through lead jammer status, going to be awarded to Teddy Roosevelt. plays now ready. Score points. Running around the high, actually the penalty box, and conveniently past the star very smoothly to Headhunter. Couple days ago, has 4 points on the board as Headhunter right on their tail. Gonna force the call off. 34-0 game in favor of Chemical City. Great work by Headhunter, putting the pressure on, forcing that call off. Score is now 2:07. Kalamazoo 64, Chemical City, with 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. See the more traditional start this time, but back on the green line. All players on the front again. Bobbles isn't the most consistent, looks and giggles, and does get it. Legion Gonzalez going to Kalamazoo as Meta Curie fighting next to the left there. Baxter and first jumping about the pass. Beautiful footwork on that inside line, completing the initial pass to Chemical City for Melee. And blockers are pulling their jamming through with lots of assists out there. Our jerseys are incredibly stretchy. So there's many times that we will see that happen. Bobbles completing a scoring pass for Kalamazoo as Adam Chester won the penalty box for Chemical City. Baxter something is awesome for Bobbles. And Adam Miller is back in the pass. Ready to score some points, but Bobbles able to pick up 1 more point for Kalamazoo. Military has to pass Baxter and does so. 4 points on the board for Chemical City as Bobbles sees his space on the outside line, but picks up a forearm penalty. This will be a power jam for Military. Power jam. We've got about 35 seconds left in the jam. A little too Kalamazoo to get the jam with that guy. Yeah. And it looks like we did have a star pass completed by Military 32, number 77, which is won by Lunatic. But since the star was passed and no points had been earned prior to the pass, no points were picked up on that pass. But Lombard Lunatic is now back in the pass. Now ready to start scoring points up at home, but Kalamazoo does a full 4 wall of skated from the defense right now, and that's hard. Bobbles does the early score penalty box in time for the jam to end without a mean track, but not enough time for him to score any additional points. So it was 8-6 jam in favor of Kalamazoo, bringing the score to 10-6. In favor of Kalamazoo, score 217-70, with 6:40 in the game. And Barbie's position to play some offense for Ophelia. She gets right through beautiful offense. They've made that high contact and into the section. Sergeant Phoenix still working on getting through that tough Kalamazoo track. It's another back block penalty. This is going to be a power jam for Ophelia County. Beautiful opening on the outside there for Ophelia to help Ophelia get through that line. Great work. Great communication from Ophelia to tell her team what she wants them. You can hear her say go when she wants them to go play offense. Did not waste any time. She got her point and called it off immediately, picking that jammer in the penalty box. A great strategy by Kalamazoo. Having the lead kind of helps you control the game somewhat. Not always, but it is a benefit. And so, starting with the jammer in the box gives you a quick second to really get the jammer out and get lead. You can kind of control that pop a little bit. Total 12 points for Ophelia County, bringing the score to 229-70. And on this power start, it's Forrest Jump. That's another thing that can happen on power start. Sometimes they so focus on offense that Tampa can just come right on out and get Louisiana. Jordan Phoenix starts to fall off the down and 1 point in the pocket, bringing the score to 71 for Chemical City. About 4.5 minutes left. And obviously on the drop ball with 23 to go.
Coming to do this one, Walker in the penalty box. Coming backing up to start this game. Getting nice and quick.
What do you about? We've got the iconic start that I was mentioning, really just kind of charging into that front half. But Kzoo is taking it very, very well, but there is a bit of space on the inside, allowing for the rebound to move the lead. Was also on the push off on the outside line, completing the pass for Kzoo. As Teddy Kzoo getting knocked to the inside, and going to call off again after picking up 3 points for Chemical City.
Rebound for Kzoo, Wicks and Giggles. Ball will get ready for some offense for Wicks. This is going to be a quick three. The 11-2 takes these games for Chemical City. With Wicks well fighting through that Chemical City line. Little help from Waldo for offense to get Wicks out. He didn't get any points.
So this is the last call to head over to the front entrance / concession stand to cast a vote for your fan favorite award for this game. It's $1 per vote, and the fan favorite gets a nice little reward because the crowd is just so engaged in the order. It's always really nice to get that appreciation from the spectators. But getting ready to go into the stand, we've got Lumbar Lunatic starting with the star, I believe, for the first time. And Olivia Plenty, if no stranger. Lumbar Lunatic says, come on! Can you just give me something for once? But Lumbar Lunatic took over him and run it, see if they can do anything. Kind of leading with those hits, but since they were out of bounds, no points can be awarded there. 3 points is going to Australia.
We got bottles up again, Dart and Phoenix. One blocking penalty box for Chemical City. They're starting at the front of the pack this game.
And this very well could be the last game of the game. We had a couple longer games, but also some very short ones. We've got about a minute left on the period clock. So we'll have to see what the team can do with that time.
Dark and Phoenix with the lead. Niners always trying to get through the last Chemical City blockers. He does a 4-second on the right side line. Dark and Phoenix picking up all her parts to that side. Let's see if the line can stop double. For Kzoo. Chemical City holding their line, holding their points. Falling for the 3. taking the ball for Kzoo. Doesn't be a single and call off again. The period clock has expired. So this is the unofficial final score. Unofficial score right now after an 8-4 down in 86 Chemical City to 236 Kzoo still through. But once you hear that rolling whistle, that's how you know the sport is official, it's final. And then come on over to the track, you can give high fives to everybody. Because this sport isn't easy. I know we've seen sometimes make it look like it's super easy, but I promise you it's not. Go up to the track with high fives, give congratulations for our winning team, the Kzoo Killer Crew. Dr. Chemical City, they put up a 45 and what that score this evening, they were top two absolutely. I think that we're really because you can earn so many points in a house. Sometimes the score does seem kind of skewed, but a few score doesn't mean it's not a good one. And make sure to stick around. We have technically 5 awards to announce. Got 2 MVP blockers, 2 MVP jammers, and the fan favorite award. So stick around while we collect that information, and we will chat with you shortly. Alrighty, everybody, if you listen over here real quick, I have our MVPs as well as our fan favorite award this afternoon/evening. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for coming out so much, and thank you to our skaters and officials and everybody else to come out here and make this really happen. Doubleheaders are easy to run, and so thank you for being here. And secondly, we're going to start with our away team from Chemical City. Our MVP blocker for Chemical City is number 108, Cardiac Chaos. And our MVP jammer is number 1901, Teddy Roosevelt. And then for Kzoo, our MVP blocker is number 44, Forrest Jones. And our MVP jammer for this game is number 28, Mad Hatter. And finally, our fan favorite award this evening was voted on by our spectators for a $1 per vote.
And our award goes to a skier from Kzoo. Number 406, Whitman Gibble. With 10 on her second, he left the award upstairs. We have the award, which is upstairs, but we'll decide it right now. I'm going to do this. But once again, thank you all so much for coming out. We hope you have a great rest of your